Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is a quick update from the Southern Front. So at the Southern Front, the Kherson, the Great Super Duper Uber Kherson Offensive from the Ukrainians has finally launched. So this is by far the biggest coordinated offensive that I've ever seen in this war, where the Ukrainians literally attack all at the same time across the entire southern front. So so I want to go through this a bit. Originally I wanted to do the summary for the last 3 days from the 26th to 28th, but I was unable to do because information due to this Kherson offensive has kind of blend into the summary, the mapping, because due to the excitement even from the pro-Russian side about this offensive, causing the entire reporting hygiene has been totally messed up. So I have to combine the 26 to 28 summary together with the 29th. So instead, I'll actually just do this quick update on this great super duper uber Ukrainian Great Kherson Offensive first. So we start from the most southern side. So what happened was that the Ukrainians on the night of the 28 to 29 August, they actually launched a major bombardment on Berislav and on Nova Kakhovka. So the target is actually the Russian military facilities as well as the reserve forces that is stationed in these two cities. And then in the morning, early in the morning, the Great Kherson Offensive began across the entire southern front. So the Ukrainians launched an attack. So there is multiple points of attack. Some of the Russian sources put it into 3 different main directions. I'm not going to do that because it's not really that. So there's one major one that's coming from Lupareve towards Oleksandrivka. So this attack is reportedly repulsed. So after losing 3 tanks, reportedly. So all these, I mind you that all this information is just rumors as of now, because all this information is coming from pro-Russian sources. This is nothing official. Of course, you can believe whatever you want. So the attack towards Oleksandrivka. So there's fighting over here. There is also fighting at Pravdany. So Pravdany, the Ukrainians did attack Pravdany. This sentence here is unclear because of the way how it's structured. It's supposed to refer to Kaiserlivka, but somehow they repeated the sentence again. So I don't think it's Pravdany, but anyway, the fighting continues at Pravdany at this moment. There's also another offensive coming from Posaporovsky. They moved down towards the road. They just rushed all the way down, and they actually captured Kaiserlivka for a moment. But however, the Russian forces actually pushed them out, and then they actually lost the Kaiserlivka again. So I read what was written by Ryber. They say an attempted offensive along the Mykolaiv-Kherson highway, temporary occupation, and the subsequent loss of Kaiserlivka. The armed forces of Ukraine focused on inflicting fire defeat on the positions in Pravdany. So which means that they actually did capture Kaiserlivka for a moment. They went in. Perhaps it was not defended. So there was not much troops there. So Ukrainians went in, and then the Russians came, and then they actually bounced. And then instead of so they are pissed, and then they bombarded the Russian position at Pravdany. So maybe that is what happened. So anyway, take all of this information with a pinch of salt. And all this offensive was supported by 2 Ukrainian Sukhoi 25, which were both shot down north of Posaporovsky. The Russian Ministry of Defense have reported 2 Ukrainian Sukhoi 25 that was shot down. So even the Russian Ministry of Defense actually mentioned this Great Kherson Offensive, but they did mention two Sukhoi 25 was shot down. They did not mention exactly where. So Raiba actually gave the information, the direction to be at Posad Poroske. So this is another one. So then, and there's another one offensive at oh sorry, not here, as in at Blachodane. So it came from the direction of Pervomainske, and along this road they go towards Blachodane. So the Ukrainians tried to counterattack in the direction of Blachodane and lost 2 BMP and 10 infantry soldiers. They roll back. So sounds a bit small, this offensive, in the way how they wrote it. But anyway, whatever it is an attempt at Blachodane. There is a information that the Mi-8 military transport helicopter of the Ukrainian Air Force was shot down over Kaiserlivka. And in another piece of information, they mentioned that this Mi-8 is actually providing fire support through a machine gun on the helicopter. However, it got shot down somehow. Then there is no action around the Snihurivka area. Then we are at the Davydibryd front. At the Davydibryd front, there is a breakthrough from the Ukrainian side from Andrivka, where the Ukrainians have a beachhead. They managed to punch through all the way to Suki Stavok, a 5 kilometers advance, and they have captured Suki Stavok. So according to Raiba, the pro-Russian source, they said that there is a breakthrough in Andrivka, and then this is preceded. So before the Ukrainians sent an offensive, it was preceded by a massive bombardment by the Ukrainian artillery. So according to another source, which Raiba quoted, where the Ukrainians captured around 6 kilometers and occupied the village of Sukhoi Stavka, which is Suki Stavok. And so this distance from our measurement is around 5 kilometers. If you give it a bit more buffer, is 6 kilometers. So this is one. There's another attempt by the Ukrainians to cross the Inhulets River towards Lozove. However, this crossing did not work out, where the reportedly 46th Air Mobile Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces have been defeated as they originally stealthily trying to cross the Inhulet River. This probably happened in the very early morning, and not sure. No, they were defeated by small arms or heavy weapons, or it could be both. Not sure. No description about that. So I just indicate that as a fighting reported at the river crossing. So there is an attempt on Davydibryd as well. However, it is not fighting. The Ukrainian troop was moving towards Davydibryd, and then they got hit by Russian artillery, and they actually fall back. However, we did have information that the Ukrainian reinforcement is now moving towards Davydibryd from Berezne Huvate. So from Berezne Huvate towards Davydibryd, reportedly around 70 units, so 70 vehicles. So we shall see whether there is a renewed offensive on Davydibryd, maybe at night or something like that. We will report if I have any more new information as I do the summary, maybe 12 hours from now. Yeah, so there is a Air Force shot down. This one is from on the 28th, so this reported on the 29th. So I don't think this is part of the Great Kherson Offensive. And that's all from the Davydibryd front. And on the Kryvyi Rih front is another main focus by the Ukrainian forces, where they attack on multiple locations from Lyubimivka to Mirolubivka. They also try to push forward at Dobryanka, at Potomkiny, at Vysokopilia, and Ohaine. So you can see that it's basically the entire front over here where the Russians have very strong defenses, then they were being pushed all across. There is reportedly some certain success at the Ohaini region. However, this is not confirmed information. There is the information fighting at Ohaini say that the Ukrainians sent 9 tanks into the battle. 2 of them were knocked out. So reportedly fighting is still ongoing at Ohaini. So this is the Khyber Front region. So this is the entire situation now for the Great Kherson Offensive that was launched on the 29th of August. And this is actually preceded with a very weird report coming from the Ukrainians. At the very end of the 29th morning report or 12 o'clock report, they say that the Ukrainian soldiers were firmly on the defensive, reporting on the 28th. So this is, which is why this is very suspicious, because you usually do not write something like that. They said the Ukrainian soldiers are firmly on the defensive and they are ready for any changes in the operational situation. And then this is of course, since this information, the social media exploded with information of all the Ukrainian offensive. The Russian Ministry of Defense did mention this Kherson Offensive just a few hours ago. They said that the Ukrainian president have a direct order for the Ukrainian soldiers to attempt an offense in the direction of Mykolaiv and Kherson region, basically the entire southern front. And the Russian Ministry of Defense claimed that due to the active defense of Russian troops, Ukrainians suffered heavy losses. So during the fighting, so the Russian MOD report, you don't believe in this information because these are all very not very reliable kind of information, the type of information, because it's too specific. 26 Ukrainian tanks, 23 infantry fighting vehicles, 9 armored fighting vehicles, 2 Sukhoi 25s, which is I just mentioned, and over 560 Ukrainian soldiers were reportedly killed and destroyed. So they say that the enemy offensive has failed miserably. But of course, this is Russian claim. However, from the look of it, I think the Ukrainians did have some decent advance. Like for example, they're nearing Alexandrivka. Perhaps there is this push toward Kaiserlivka that probably scare the shit out of the Russian soldiers around this region. Blahodane soldiers is definitely not going to fall asleep anytime soon. The Ukrainians definitely captured this position, so this is definitely something to celebrate about from the pro-Ukrainian side. However, there is pro-Russian sources saying that this village here is on flat ground and it's very hard to defend this location. So if the Ukrainians do not capture Luzove, they will have trouble securing Suki Stavok. This is according to pro-Russian sources. I have freaking no idea. Davydiv Bridge is definitely not over. The Ukrainians seems to want to try again, and there is some seeming success at the Ohaini region, and the Ukrainians have been pushing the entire front line, but there is no reported breakthrough over this region. So this is the entire of the current situation of Kherson Offensive, and I'll see you in the next update.